Well, I'm going to put a little bit of an emphasis on something. I keep a lot of spare parts around for my cars, but reason is too, if you can't get the parts or something goes wrong or you just things aren't available, you got to have ways to make do. And I know I had a problem with those taillights on the back of that Suzuki 4x4, and it turned out to be one of the bulbs too was a problem. So I went on eBay, and I can't believe these were this cheap. Both sides were for $30 delivered, shipping included. So probably cost them $10 to ship. So I think they hijacked the truck, to tell you the truth. So here, they actually come with the bulbs too. The bulbs are in there. These look like a bitter, yeah, right there. See the bulb right there? All the bulbs are in here. And I'm like, yeah, it's pretty good because, one of the things you can have a problem with your car is not just the mechanics, but the lighting and also the windows. And I never thought about the windows too until, that glass got shot with a 22, right? Because of the flag being driving down the highway and stuff. And I put a LEXAN in there. But you know what? Say you're in a situation where, everything just fell apart. Somebody could throw a rock at your car or some garbage, bust a window, and you can put plastic there and fix it, I guess, with a trash can liner. But in a situation where parts and availability isn't around, and you can even do this with your windows on your house, you should probably keep some spare LEXAN around. And this stuff is a bit thick. This is 1/4 inch thick. I still got quite a bit left over from my project doing that rear window, which is not quite done. I got to put the trim on and trim away the excess glue and stuff, rubberized adhesive. But say you had a bunch of this in, say, 1/8 inch, which is still thick enough, or 3/16. Personally, I'd probably go with 3/16 versus a 1/4 inch. But say, for instance, somebody, it's Armageddon or something, right? Whatever. And you got a vehicle that you got stashed gas around. You can use it for little things and driving around. But say something happens to one of your windows, and first off, you have rain coming in your car. Number two, it could be 8 degrees Fahrenheit outside, and you'll be freezing your butt off because there's a broken window. You can replace it with the LEXAN. This is something good to have because you can have it for your house and all other stuff. Matter of fact, on these 4x4 here, this little Suzuki, they sell a LEXAN windshield for this, for off-roading. So, because it'll get scratched up from the wipers and stuff, but that's something good to keep for prepping on hand. LEXAN, piece of LEXAN, because it could be for home repair windows. It could be for car windows. You can bend it, shape it. You can cold shape it. Now, I was able to shape that with the heat gun to get that bend in there. I made my back window with 3 pieces. Now, like I said, they do sell LEXAN for this because when you're driving down a trail, somebody's like spinning their wheels and they throw rocks up and they smash your window. LEXAN, you don't have a problem. But, it does get scratched up after a while from the wipers. I also found out that the best thing to keep the LEXAN clean, not really, this is really more about keeping spare car parts. You want to keep plugs and wires. I found out the best thing to keep the LEXAN clean and looking streak free, and probably keep it from yellowing, should keep it from yellowing forever, use this Aerospace Protectant 303, which is for like boats, anything plastic. But you should keep a lot of spare bulbs around, lighting around for your cars and vehicles. It's one of these things that if you're driving around at night or something, say everything did fall apart. You want taillights on your vehicle. I mean, maybe there won't be, I don't know. It's just that certain situations you just definitely want the lighting. And if you can't get the stuff, keep some spares. It just goes by cost, though. In other words, if these things were running from Suzuki $150 or more for the pair, I wouldn't have got them. But $30, this is it's kind of a rare vehicle today. And well, maybe it's not that rare because it's still kind of popular in Brazil and India and all that kind of stuff. They made them over there for overseas for quite more years in Australia. But these were also from India, but quite surprised. They were really good. They're really good, good lights. You know, there comes the bulbs and everything. It looks like they're constructed a lot better. Looks like they use better wiring. And I noticed that the plug wasn't all hanging out like on the other one was. I had to put the plug back in there. The wiring seems more flexible than the old. I was like, I don't know. I think they hijacked. You know, I got them they're from New York City. I'm figuring they hijacked a truck or something, because no way in hell it's cheap. No way in hell. But you should keep a lot of spare parts on it for your car, and because you if you just can't order them, your vehicle could be down. I mean, you're not going to be able to keep everything it's spare, but typical stuff, and a lot of typical stuff people aren't thinking of, is the windows and the lighting. Probably more so even with the windows, because if you're in a cold climate, or even if you're in a hot climate, for crying out loud. I mean, if you have a lot of rain or something like that, you don't want the rain flooding your interior because somebody busted your window or something, right? So if you got that LEXAN, you can replace it. And I'm not done with that. You know, I didn't work on it today or nothing. I got to scrape around the trim and stuff, and up in here, but and down there, I got to get that on the inside. I'll be doing that today, but I still made the curve in here. Made the curve on the other side. 3 pieces works freaking fine for me. And if I was using a little thinner stuff, I probably could have made it all 1 piece, but whatever. Anyway, but yeah, it's something people aren't thinking of. And I never thought of this until that window was shot with a 22, right? So I never thought of that. And that's going to be kind of like a typical problem, I think, if you're having like everything falling apart or something like that, and there's economic collapse or whatever the hell it is, right? Hey, windows are going to get busted on cars, right? And then once you put that kind of window in there, I mean, you can mar it up. Maybe you can break through it, but it's not going to shatter. Maybe you can put a hole in it or something, but you're not going to, it's not going to turn into 8 zillion little pieces like normally you do. And the other thing is, too, I mean, you want to have spare lighting on your car, or even if you keep an extra set of trailer lights around that you can wire into any car there is. So you got some kind of backup light or something, brake light or whatever the hell it is. Not that, I don't really know what's going to happen, but I'd assume that with lighting, that's usually the first thing law enforcement will pull you over for, and I think there'll be plenty of law enforcement out there, even in an emergency situation where everything's falling apart, and they'll be just pulling people over because a light is out. And of the people that still have gas and runnable cars or whatever the hell it is, you know what I mean? You don't need that kind of crap. And if some of these things are, if the delivery system is going to crap, well, yeah, maybe you won't be driving, but then again, maybe you will. If you got enough storage stuff on hand. So you want to make sure you got your lighting here too, and your windows all set, and your spark plugs, tires. Actually, I even keep when I change out those tires on that thing, I got the old ones too. There's some of them are still good. I got them wrapped up in big trash can liners, and I sprayed them down with that 303 UV protectant. So, and I also got a manual tire changer and a bubble balancer, and I also have those weights that you can just throw inside the tire, and they balance themselves. They're like little lead balls. So here's my tire changer. So it's and you want to keep all this kind of stuff on hand. You want to keep your vehicles going. Like, I personally think if everything went down, I think a lot of people probably, and you also want to have a car that doesn't really have electronic crap on it. Like, that thing has HEI, which is not a computer. This has just an igniter. And the Harley doesn't have a computer either. It's got electronic, but I also have a 6-cylinder points ignition for this thing that it'll run with 6-cylinder points, Chevy points, and a condenser, which I got right here in the saddlebags. And I got a lot of spare parts for this thing too, plugs and I just plugged a lot of stuff, man. I even got an extra jug and other crap like that. So anyway, so never thought of this. You know, I knew about the car parts and knew about the tires, but I never thought about the glass and the lighting so much. And you want to keep some of that stuff on hand, even if you don't get the actual. These are so cheap. I got them $30 for both sides. I was like, whoa. But even if you just had a set of boat trailer lights as a backup, one of your lights goes out and you can't get a replacement for it, get a couple set of boat trailer lights like I got on that. I put them on that boat back here, put some back here, and they're easy to wire up. You know, the brown wire is your the brown wire is your tail light, and the green wire is your right turn signal, and your yellow wire is for the left turn signal on the other side. So, I mean, you can get something like that for $30. Keep those on hand too. And so if one of your lights goes out in one of your vehicles, hell shit, you can just freaking sheet metal screw that damn thing into the freaking trunk lid or something like that, and you're good to go. So, it's better than nothing, right?